Thank you for this experience of worship. For certainly you are worthy of our praise. And our praise does show forth thy word. We pray that as we listen to your word, that Lord, Holy Spirit, you would speak to us in our various locations. A word that would uplift us, a word that would inspire us, a word that would give us hope for the future. But a word that would change us as well. As I speak, oh God, commune with me. In the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen. Amen. And the church together said, Amen. Amen. Turn with me to the book of Mark chapter 10. Mark chapter 10. I would like to read as our text verse 46 and 47. You found it? Say, I got it. Still looking? Say, I'm looking. You're not looking and you haven't found it and you're not interested, say move on. All right. I should have told you to look at the screen. There it is. I'm reading from a King James version of the Bible, a very familiar passage of scripture. And here are the words that we find written therein. And they came to Jericho. And as he went out of Jericho with his disciples and a great number of people, blind Bartimaeus, son of Timaeus, sat by the highway side begging. And when he heard that it was Jesus of Nazareth, he began to cry out and say, Jesus, our son of David, have mercy on me. From those two verses I would like to use for a thought this morning. Switch. One word. Switch. And in this glorious life that we live, and our continuous input is the same, and our outcome is unbecoming. Let us know that there is something in that equation that needs to switch. When your thoughts are evil and you call yourself good, and it seems as though your words are unpleasant, something about you needs to. When the company that you keep or the folk that you are around or the people that you invested yourself in, there is no progress in uplifting. There is no positive thinking, action, deeds. Seems though that group of people have you moving down rather than moving up. To say something about my crowd needs to change. I have come to resolve that no one really likes change. Except the wet baby. Most often we will resist it before we embrace it. And we do know sometimes that this ain't right. Rather than change it, we'll try to force it. Do y'all remember that song a long time ago? If it don't fit, don't force it, just relax and let it go. I'm not the only one playing 45. Yeah. I told y'all don't know this. Maybe you do. I grew up like next door to a cafe, a pub, where they play blues on the 45. You put your quarter in and get two options. You know, you play 3D and 4C. And 4C was, when I first met you, baby, you were just a sweet 16. Now come back with me. All right, here we go. But we realize that a lot of times that there are things that need to be switched in our lives, and we're saying, hey, I'd rather force it. And sometimes we know it needs to be changed. We try to pray that God will change his will. So we can have it just like we want. But I realized something, and I was up this morning early, and I was kind of thinking and meditating, and I was thinking about prayer and the things that we petition God for. And what I realized more in this meditation time of just thinking, I guess, kind of moving around, I realized that, you know, if we want the will of God in our lives, we're going to have to move from our way to his will. Does that make sense what I just said? If it did not, I'm sorry. Sometimes I'm way down here and you all are way up here. But sometimes we realize that, you know, our way is just not in his will. And no matter how we pray, we have to really discover what is the will of God so that we can pray the will of God for our lives, rather than insisting that our way is the way. All right, y'all good with that? Yeah. Now let's move to the text then. I was just trying to give you a little fillers. Now, what we realize in this particular text is that the story tells us that Jesus goes into Jericho. And Mark tells us nothing that happens in Jericho. But he moves on and say that Jesus went into Jericho and Jesus went out of Jericho. Y'all got it? He doesn't tell us what happens there. But he does tell us that on the way out of town, that he had his disciples and a great multitude of people. So we're going to say that when Jesus was in Jericho, something happened that he picked up a crowd of folk to go with him. Now, I make this presumption based on the fact of life experience as a believer. That I have very few occasions I'm aware of where we have been around God, Christ, experience him, and we didn't pick up some fall. Some go and say, wait a minute, I've never seen nothing like this before, so I'm going to go give him a follow. This is right. Some say, I'm convinced that he is everything that he say he is, and I can't imagine my life without him. I'm good. All right. You follow what I'm saying? Yeah. So the only thing Mark tells us is something happened, nothing happened in Jericho, but he went in on his way out. So we know this much, Jesus' disciples and a great multitude of people, right? He says that on his way out of Jericho, that blind Bartimaeus was hanging out in the streets the way he was going. He doesn't tell us, and it's strange how Mark introduces Bartimaeus, not saying Bartimaeus, the son of, but rather blind Bartimaeus. Sometimes the folk know who your folk are. They look at your mess. And all they see as the first impression is the mess. Then later on, who you connected to. And then what you do. Listen, Mark. Blind Bartimaeus, the son of Timaeus, he was on the highway, by the highway side, begging. Three things about Bartimaeus. Blind, the son of Tamir, big. Question. Is it possible that our condition could have something to do with our action because of a lack of relationship with Christ? Bartimaeus is blind, but he refused to stay at home and be lazy. Or stay at home and feel sorry for himself. Or stay at home and say, oh, the world doesn't matter because I'm blind. Instead, Mark says that he's by the highway side, begging. What that at least tells us is that Bartimaeus had a desire for more than what he had. What does that mean to us in life application? No matter what our predicament is, we ought to want more than what we have. Amen. Outside of being blind, Bartimaeus is saying, listen, I'm not content being blind and broke. Amen. Blind and helpless. Blind and by myself. Because I do want you to know that by the highway side, he had a social life. You can have a condition, but your condition does not mean that you have to be isolated from the rest of the world. Amen. We have to learn that even though I might be a liar, I might be jealous, I might be struggling with some things, that's no reason for me to cut myself off from the rest of the world. Tell you why. Because we don't know many times where our help is going to come from. We all tell our children, get out there, get out there, get out there. World is not just right here. Get out there, get out there. Make friends. Get known. But we're encouraging them to be social beings. Bartimaeus is by the road. I just want to give this little information just to kind of let you see that if I'm by the road begging and I'm out here by the road begging tomorrow, the day after, you know, somebody's going to get a check. The day the 7th, somebody got a check around the 30th. If I stay out here hanging out, somebody that didn't have no money on the 1st got some on the 3rd. And they ain't spent it all by 7th. So if I just hang out here by the highway, I might get a blessing. So well, I hope I'm making sense. And after a while, last month, around the 5th, I gave Bartimaeus $1, but because I spent a little time with Bartimaeus and got to know him, same old fella hanging out on the street, I might give him, $5 this time. Because I'm getting to know him. I'm going somewhere because I want to know if you follow me. See, when people don't know you, there is less contact. They can pass by you and don't even see you. But when people get to know you, it's hard to see me in need and pass me by. What I like about Bartimaeus is I got a condition, but I'm asking for help. Y'all know things that it's hard for us to say, I'm sorry. I need help. Please forgive me. Those kind of things are very difficult because sometimes we isolate ourselves and feel like our pride that we don't want folk to know that we got it like this. And we put on this facade that all is well when really it is not. Our world is coming around us, but because we are afraid to say, will you help? We end up suffering. I'm going to tell you what isolation does. Isolation leads to depression. That's not God's will for us. It's the devil's strategy. That we would get and enter into depression and feel like nobody cares and nobody loves us and everybody's too busy for us, and we end up escaping into this low place called depression. And then the devil says, I got you. Then when you get into depression, you get this pitiful thing that nothing has really happened. Then you start thinking about, well, your life is really worthless. And then you start thinking about, well, why am I really here? better off dead because I don't need to be living like this and everybody else is living like that. And because I'm depressed, oppressed, and all by myself, I might as well check out. So all of his little angels is like, but God is saying, no. Those are not the plans I have for you. No, my thoughts concerning you, that they are good and not evil, even unto an expected end. We realize that even though we may be by ourselves temporarily, God sometimes calls us shifting for the sifting in order for us to get rid of some things so that he can plant some new things in our lives. Did y'all catch that? That was so fast. The shifting for the sifting so we can be by ourselves so God can plant new things in our lives. Oh, you don't want all the friends that you used to have? Because you really don't want them. Some have been blessings and some have been leaders and others have been leeches. If they have not been burned. So here is this blind Bartimaeus. I like him, man. He's really an awesome guy. He's without Christ, but he's on this road. He's begging and he's asking for help. He's not afraid to ask for what he needs. And here we are. The Noah's coming out of town. He's blind, but he's not dead. The Noah's coming out of town is different than the Noah's yesterday. Oh, because Jesus has a great multitude of people with him, and his disciples are with him, and they're talking and chattering about something. Bartimaeus cannot see them, but he can hear them. Oh, somebody must have said something very interesting, because what he heard made him cry. At least what he heard was a name that made him stop begging and start crying. I'm just saying what Matthew said, Mark said. Mark said in that particular verse, he says that he was sitting by the highway side begging. And when he heard that it was Jesus of Nazareth that was on the road coming in his direction, he stopped begging and started crying. For many of us, we have to realize that we have to move from depending on folk and start seeking out God. We got to switch our dependence from others to him. Bartimaeus heard something. I don't know what it was. I'm going to guess, because everywhere Jesus has gone, he's blessed somebody. Either somebody has been raised from the dead or got off a bed that was presumed dead. Either he turned some water into wine or told somebody to take up a cart and go ahead and walk. Or he spit on the ground, that's nasty, and put the clay on somebody's eyes, which was nasty, and say, go wash, and he got his sight. Then Jesus says to a man, hand that's withered, that he be made whole. Something happened in Jericho, that they was walking outside of town, and they was talking about it, and Bartimaeus heard it. Jesus? Did I hear Jesus? Because one sense is dull while another one is heightened. His hearing is heightened, and he began to cry, Jesus, thou son of David, have mercy on me. Jesus, son of David, have mercy on me. And those that were with Jesus, who had experienced Jesus, had witnessed Jesus, who knew what Jesus could do, told a man in need. All right. Question comes, how many of us who know what Jesus can do are a hindrance to those who are seeking after him to meet a need in their lives? The crowd leaving Jericho, they witnessed something. Because we're not following Jesus for nothing. Let me make it plain. You ain't coming to church for nothing. Oh, they were behind Jesus for something. But and to know what he can do, and to see a man who has a need and say to him, but the more they told him, peace, hold your peace. Hold your peace. Bartimaeus said, no! Jesus, son of David, have mercy on me. Why wouldn't he be quiet? He says, I'm blind. I have no peace. I'm begging. I have no peace. I'm relying on others. I have no peace. I can't even get up and get pointed in the right direction on my own. I have no peace. So why would you tell me to hold my peace when I have no peace? The more they told him to be quiet, the closer they came to him. But his voice, he tried to lift it over the cliff, over the wall of the naysayers. Jesus!
Amen.
Son of David.
Yeah.
Have mercy on me. He's not begging, but he's crying out
Yes.
to Jesus.
Yes.
Bartimaeus, son of Timaeus, begging. Here's about Jesus, switches from begging to praying.
Yeah.
Have mercy on me.
Have mercy.
What was he really asking Jesus? Help this predicament. Heal me. Deliver me. It don't take us to do formulas for prayers. Because what God is listening for is what we want. What you need. In the conversation that builds fellowship. I was telling the 8 o'clock service this morning, and I'm telling you that I came to the altar this morning about 5 something, and I was kneeling right there. I was kind of beating around the bush. Then I finally got to what I really came here for. I need your help, Lord.
All right.
I'm not the best. I'm not in the best place in my life, but I need your help.
Yes.
Are there some things I need you to help me with?
Yes.
Little stuff going on, but can you help me, brother? And that's really why I knelt. All the other stuff I was talking about, you know, it's good, but, you know, Lord, you know, lift your name on high, and Lord, you know, you good, and Lord, you know, you woke me up this morning and started me on my way. You know that little stuff we be saying.
Yeah,
Lord, you know, you gave me food, and what did you want, dude? What you want? But I hope I'm making sense. Bartimaeus didn't have all of this to say to Jesus except that he heard them talking about this boy Jesus was on the road coming his way. He knew enough that he was the son of David, somehow captured from the Old Testament, the lineage of David to Jesus. Jesus, thou son of David, have mercy on me. Nothing more to offer except those words.
Yes.
Let me tell you what happened. He cried so loud.
Yeah.
And he cried so long until he caused Jesus to stand still.
All right.
In other words, when we cry out to God, rather than complaining about our stuff and looking and crying, woe is me, we'd rather we call out to him and let him know, listen, I'm over here and I got a need for you in my life. We can stop him. We can get his attention.
Yes. All right.
Get his attention. Do y'all see what's going on?
Amen.
This thing is really crazy. What's going on? You're a guest. Would you be a part of this illustration as a guest? All right. Hold right there. Listen. Give me your name. David. Come here, David. Watch. Listen at this. David moved from sitting to standing to coming. Hold those things. You got it?
Yes.
From sitting to standing to coming. You got it?
Yes.
Listen, Bartimaeus cried so long until he got Jesus' attention.
Right.
That's me. It's David. I'm Jesus.
Right.
He got Jesus' attention and Jesus stood still and said, wait a minute, somebody's calling. And they're calling in a way that I've never heard them call before. They're calling in a way, this name sounds like there's something in the voice. It's not a praise. It's not worship. It's a petition. It's a distress call. Tell him to come here. Notice now, notice. Jesus didn't go to Bartimaeus, but he gave the instruction to tell Bartimaeus to come here. Now what Bartimaeus does is Bartimaeus get up and moves in Jesus' direction. What the church has to realize is that when we want God, we don't sit on our duties to the way he will come. Rather, we get up and we come towards him. What ends up happening is Bartimaeus pulls off his garments. And is, what is it that's in your lap? What is it that's got you wrapped up that's holding you down? Bartimaeus decided that when he called me, let me lay some stuff down. When he tells me to come near, let me pull some stuff off. I don't want to go to Jesus looking like a beggar. I don't want to go to Jesus looking like I'm broke, busted, and disgusted. I want to go to Jesus with my outer parts being cast off so that he can see me for who I really am. Who am I? I'm a child of God. Bartimaeus pulls off and stands up and walks towards him. When Bartimaeus gets to Jesus, he asks Jesus asks Bartimaeus this question. Do you really believe that what you want, that I can perform?
All right, all right.
I know when you look at the text, it doesn't say anything that I just said. Because this is a question that is loaded. What he asked Bartimaeus is, what is it that you would for me to do for you? Now that's the question that Mark tells us, but what Jesus really is asking us in contemporary time, when you call upon my name, what is it that you believe that I can do for you? Do you really believe that what you're asking, I can perform?
All right, all right, all right, all right, all right.
Because in other words, there's no need of us calling on him unless we believe that he can do it. I'm not done. I'm almost done. Listen now, don't ask me nothing that you don't believe I can do. You got to have some faith. I didn't say a whole lot of faith because that's what we get messed up at. We start believing, oh, I got to have great faith. No, you may have a great problem, but you need little faith. Jesus makes it plain that we need the faith the size of a grain of a mustard seed. It's a little bitty pebble. But if you give me your faith with your problem, I will work big and amazing things out for you. So Bartimaeus has a question on the table. What is it you want me to do? And Bartimaeus' answers is that I may receive my sight. Bartimaeus, that I may receive my sight.
That I may receive my sight.
I want you to hold right there. Give me something. You play baseball? Basketball. Okay. Look at receive. Your hands got to be open to receive. But hold on a moment now. Hold on a moment. Bartimaeus is blind. So how can he receive in his hands what Jesus has thrown to him? He can't receive it in his hands. He got to receive it first in his heart. Now, hear me today. When we believe the promises of God, we got to look in our hearts first and flip the places of doubt away, put the place of mistrust away, and say, I trust you for what I'm asking you for. So rather than this reception being in David's hand, it really is in David's hand. Because in my heart, I believe that Jesus can do just what I was asking. Boy, he's preaching really good right now. He's really good preaching right now. David has to believe in his heart that Christ can give him what he's asking him for. We almost done, David. What ends up happening is that Jesus says to Bartimaeus, after he said that I may receive my sight, he says to him, go thy way. Now this is crazy. You got to catch this. Go thy way, thy faith. Not my prayer partner's faith. Not my big mama's faith. Not mama them faith. But my faith, whatever it is, thy faith has made me whole. What we have to realize is we have in us what we need for God to perform for us. We have what we need to have fellowship with God. We have what we need to be victorious in our life. We have what we need. Stop looking around at everything else and start looking within and work with what God has given you. Y'all ready? When he tells Bartimaeus this, Bartimaeus takes one step this way. Bartimaeus takes one step, and as Bartimaeus begins to move, he ends up gaining his sight immediately. But what has Jesus told him? Go thy way. Now this is what Mark says. Mark says that he received his sight and he starts to follow Jesus. Wait a minute, Bartimaeus. I said go your way. Why is Bartimaeus following Jesus? Because Jesus told Bartimaeus, go your way. Bartimaeus, give us the answer. My way. It's your way now. Thank you. The reason that I was in, the mess that I was in, is because I was going my way. The problem that I have in my life is because I was going my way. Because I received my follow Jesus. Jesus said, Bartimaeus, go that way. Bartimaeus said, you leaving me with a choice? Well, I'm certainly not going back to where I was because I've experienced blessings and the fullness. I'm going to follow you. Why am I following you? Because I'm going to go with the blesser so that I may get the blessing. I'm going with the blesser that I may experience continually the blessing. When doubt comes into your mind, switch. When people try to pull you down, switch. When you get bad news, before it takes you all the way out, switch. Before you resort to that place called depression and feeling isolated and alone, I suggest that you switch. Switch. Bartimaeus had this opportunity in his life. All of my life I've been blind. Most of my life I've been begging. Then I heard about Jesus. I heard about Jesus, some things that he's done. And I decided today, rather than begging for alms, I'll ask for his hand. Rather than asking for money, I'll ask him to touch my life. Switch. Bartimaeus, after he experienced the reward of his petition, he did the most important thing. He kept following. He kept following Jesus. When we're blessed, and when we have received from God what we've asked, the most important thing to show your gratitude towards him is not a song. It's not just that praise report in Bible class and that prayer meeting. But it's a life of going with him the rest of your life. Bartimaeus, as a result of life change, decided, not only has my life changed, but my direction needs to change also. That's my time, and thank you for yours. Listen, there's a song you sing way back yonder. It says, I have decided to follow Jesus.